I was in and out of Pokemon a lot until 2019. I was all the way back in for good. But like so many of you, I found myself in 2020 locked inside my house with nowhere to go. My wife was working a lot of long hours and weekends because of her job, and I was consuming a lot of PokeTube, right? And I was watching everybody that was famous at the time on PokeTube, right? It was Lean Hard and Unlisted Leaf and Real Breaking Nate and all those guys, PokeRev. And then I come across a channel in my recommended called Darium's Pokemon. And the video was 1,000 pack opening of evolutions. And of course that caught my attention because I'm like, what, 1,000 packs? That's crazy. Like, I just opened up a booster box of evolutions and that's an insane amount. Like, I have to watch this. So I start watching it and go to his channel, and I'm like, wait a second. He has a video of every new set that comes out and tons of older sets, 1,000 pack openings. And it's him and the guy from Tricky Jim, and a lot of times it's his wife who they call wifey, and they're just there and they open up 1,000 packs, and it was so fun to watch. And in one of the videos he mentioned something about something called Twitch and how he's doing streaming on there. And I didn't know what Twitch was, so I download it and I find, Darium's Pokemon on there, and I start watching like his live stream. And he's has a name written down on like a piece of paper, and he'll open 8 packs and then open 12 packs, and I'm like, what is going on here? And then I realize, wait a second, are people paying him to open these packs? And my mind was blown. I was like, people are paying to have somebody else open their packs for them. I'm like, who would do that? Like, I want to open my own packs. Why would somebody pay? Who would trust somebody on the internet to just open packs for them and then ship them to them? Like, this is crazy. But I was intrigued, and I kept watching, and eventually I found myself. I made my way to his website, and I saw the pack prices of some of the sets, and it was like new sets, a little bit of old sets, and it was like $3.50 a pack, $4 a pack, $3 a pack, $3 a pack, $2.50 a pack. I don't remember what sets, but I know that there was sets that were $2.50 a pack that he was charging, and he would send you all the hits. I think he kept the bulk and the code card. And I was still like, this has to be a scam. Like, this is crazy. But but then what did I do? I kept watching. I kept coming back night after night because I was intrigued, and I saw the same names night after night buying into these breaks, and I saw the community around what Darium and Wifey had built, and I was like, this is crazy. Like, this is kind of cool. And after, I don't know, maybe a week, I bought into my first break with Darium's Pokemon, and I'm pretty sure it was Hidden Fates. I don't remember for sure because I ended up, I would do, dozens of breaks then with them, and it was a different kind of rush. So it's like, okay, I don't get to open up these packs myself, but if I get a big hit on here, I get the card for one, and then you get to celebrate in chat with all these people, and you get to kind of know people in chat because it's the same people night after night. And I think he would have like, it was definitely over 100, maybe 100, 200, 300 sometimes in there. I can't remember exactly. But then obviously, like, him and Wifey would celebrate if they get a big hit. And I knew they were legit when they were opening Hidden Fates when I first started watching. And then, like, Wifey would pull a Charizard, and then she'd pull another Charizard, and that was like a running joke. She always got like the big hits, and Darium never did. It was kind of funny. But long story short, I was so skeptical at first, right? And then I started watching and seeing the community that was around what Darium had built, and I just knew he was onto something. As like I'm like, this is really cool, and this is fun, right? Well, little did I know, would we see the biggest just influx of rip and shippers and breakers over the next 2 years. The birth of Whatnot and Fanatics Live and eBay Live and YouTube and just so many drip and just all these different platforms. But I think Darium was probably the first, like, I mean, at least the first, like, mainstream Pokemon person to do it. And it was such a small, like, nobody knew about it, right? Like, there was, because he was on YouTube and Twitch, and I just feel like it was kind of like this little, almost like secret society kind of thing for a while. And obviously I think he's pretty big now, like in the history books of Pokemon. Like, a lot of people know Darium, and he's one of the OGs, and up there with like a Primetime Pokemon and like kind of those kind of channels. Uh but the whole reason I tell that story is because, you know breakers. So Darium called himself a breaker back then. A lot of people call themselves rip and shippers now. It's the same thing, right? A breaker and a rip and shipper. um you know Breakers didn't just change Pokemon, they kind of changed how we experience the hobby. Like, it's a whole different experience, and obviously it's an online experience, but you get a secondary rush when you get those cards in the mail and you get to see them like firsthand. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it's fun. I don't do it anymore. I don't buy into rip and ships anymore. It's been a long time. Occasionally I will, to support like somebody. Like the first time, like TJ Pokepaster did one, I bought into that one just for fun. Like, but back when I was doing Dariums, it was like, it was like I want to hit something, right? And I would buy it again and buy it again and buy it again, and it was kind of like almost like a little bit of a gambling thing, right? But and that's another thing that people talk about with rip and chips as a negative thing. But there's no denying that it's a whole experience within the hobby, right? And I don't think we're at the point where we can even question whether or not breakers and rip and chippers are going to survive. It's just like, what's the future going to look like? Because they're always going to be here. It's too big a part of the hobby now. And yes, the bad apples will get weeded out, right? There's, Whatnot seems like the worst. And look, I did 5 or 6 streams on Whatnot. I had a blast when I did it. I was honest. I had good, honest pricing, and I shipped everything that ever anybody ever bought, and giveaways, and threw in extra hits if they didn't get anything. Like I did it the right way. At least I think I did, and people had fun when they did it. But I had like 10 people in each of my live streams, and half of them were my friends and family, right? And and the people like that, I didn't last. I lasted like a month, right? And so that was like over a year ago. And so, you're going to have a big portion of them come and go, right? But there is going to be ones that have built a community like Darium did, and still has. He still breaks, by the way, not nearly as often. And I think he has some friends and family that do it for him a lot now. I don't get to watch as much as I would like anymore because of just kids and family and work and stuff. But uh but yeah, the streamers that have built a community and have been trustworthy for years and don't scam people and charge decent prices, like, those are going to be the ones that last. And I see so many people get so mad at them and say that they're part of the problem. And I just rethink that. Like, think about what you're kind of saying. If you say they're part of the problem, they are opening Pokemon packs. So, that's when people say, like, oh, the scalpers and the sealed investors are the problem, because then this stuff needs to get opened. It's meant to be open. Well, rip and shippers and breakers are opening packs, right? And it's being consumed, and those cards are going into collections and getting graded and being bought, traded and sold, and everything, right? So, I think that if you look at it as a whole and take out some of the scammers, right? I think that they really are a net positive for the hobby. They bring eyes to people, they build communities, and it's a fun experience, right? And it's all about the community and the entertainment and stuff like that. I said the C word, I know. But I don't know. And you kind of get like different market exposure to Pokemon with all the different streamers. It's a whole different leg. Like, right, I always say Pokemon is like an octopus with 40 legs, 40 tentacles, right? Because there's just so many different ways you can interact with it. And the live streaming and breaking is just such a huge part of it, and I really don't think it's going anywhere anytime soon. Like, if you want to chase a specific card from a set, right, you just go and buy the packs for that set. And because a lot of stuff on the shelves now is only like collection boxes and stuff, so you have to get a mixed bag of stuff. But and like I said, there's definitely negatives, right? Like the gambling addiction is a big part of it. It drives, makes product dry up. A lot of the scalpers, I think, do scoop up the products and then sell it to rip and shippers. But again, it is what it is. Like, at least it's being consumed by collectors in the end. Hopefully we get more supply here soon. But yeah, I don't know. It's like some people say that it reduces availability for collectors, the rip and shippers, but I think it actually, to a certain extent, also increases it. Um, yeah, I don't know. I just think it's an interesting, again, like everything, it seems like it's you love them or you hate them, right? There's obviously a lot of people that enjoy the content, whether it's just watching or it's, joining in on the breaks and having fun and stuff, and chasing the bounties and the different stuff that people offer, right? Whatnot. It's so crazy. You go on Whatnot. If you've never gone on Whatnot, just go on. Don't even put your credit card in or anything if you don't want to, get addicted to buying. But just go on and look at how many people 24/7 are streaming. Like, is it Kraken Hits? I think it's Kraken that just streams 24/7, 365, like all year. I think it's them. And now they're doing a lot of sealed stuff too, but I think they do open stuff as well. But there's just like hundreds and hundreds, and if you add up eBay Live and Fanatics Live and Drip and Twitch and YouTube and whatnot, it is just hundreds of breakers per night, opening thousands and thousands of packs. And that's just wow. We didn't have that 5 years ago, right? Like, we had Darium and Wifey doing it to a couple hundred people and selling a couple hundred packs or maybe 1,000 packs a night. And now it's just exploded to this like unfathomable, like, just the attrition that it causes is wild. It's definitely probably the biggest reason of why it's so hard to get packs, right? Like I'm not gonna deny that, but I don't think it's a bad thing long term, right? Like, if the good, honest ones survive and go into the future and build that community, I think it's a good thing when supply is plentiful and you still have those breakers doing well. I think that's a good thing for the hobby, and being able to offer. Look, all the streamers that I listen to, all the rip and shippers, they say they can't wait for cheaper packs, right? They don't like having to charge 10, 12, $15 a pack, right? But they have to because they're buying it from the secondary market themselves. Or if they have distribution, yeah, the first wave is at distribution price, but then after that, distro is charging $200 for a booster box, or $250, or whatever. So it's not even, it's not like they're getting $2-3 packs every time. They're kind of just like us, at the mercy of kind of the market and stuff. But man, I'm sure you guys are gonna crush me for this. I know that people do not like rip and shippers, but there's gotta be at least one that you like, right? Like, come on, like, go watch Darium and Wifey. They're fun. And they're good, honest people. They've been doing it for a long time. Man, he's probably been breaking for like 10 years. I don't know what year he started. Maybe he'll watch this video and down below say when he started, and just give a little story or something. I don't know. But yeah, anyway, So, yeah, that's that. I just wanted to, I don't know, it was just on my mind today. I just wanted to talk about breaking and stuff. And like I said, I enjoy it. I think it's a fun part of the hobby. And if you don't like it, you don't have to interact with it. So, but anyway, Krabby's Collector Corner, pick of the day. I got my Ascended Heroes ETBs today in the mail. These are just the regular ones. I got 3 regular ones. And then I got my 2 PC ETBs as well. So, yeah, this is a really beautiful box. I like the colors a lot. It's a cool color scheme, and you know, we got Barney the dinosaur on it here, his cousin or something. But yeah, Ascended Heroes is a great set. I'm gonna have a whole video about specialty sets here coming up. I wanna talk about kind of the history of specialty sets. It's kind of interesting how they've evolved. But yeah, well, I appreciate you watching. Thank you so much, all of you that come back and watch every video. It's crazy seeing the same people comment on every video. I really appreciate it. And yeah, if you like what you heard and saw, give me a like, a comment, and a sub, and I really appreciate it. And we will catch you all tomorrow.